So looking forward to that.
And those banking bits look pretty cool, especially turn 3, how much it drops.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think the banking specifically in a corner like that is going to be quite unique for drivers to choose different racing lines. Normally there's only one line, but basically I guess the higher up you go on the banking, the more banked it is. So it could be interesting in the race. I mean, even if it's a wet, it can provide different lines. So yeah, it'll be quite a unique corner for sure.
And how are you guys feeling about your chances this weekend? Very different circuit to what we've just come to from Spa.
Yeah, I guess it's all a bit unknown until we get on track. I mean, there'll be definitely corners that suit the car, corners that don't suit the car. So I guess it'll be just about getting the right balance, as always. So yeah, I guess without prior knowledge and history of how everyone else has fared, it's a bit difficult to say. But I'm optimistic. Yeah.
And just finally, Kimi Räikkönen announced his retirement last night. What was your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, when you, as much as you I kind of assumed that might be the case, and when you actually see it in writing, it's kind of like, oh wow, he's actually retiring. So yeah, he's obviously had a very great and long career. I mean, I was just reading some of the stats that he's put up, and especially I guess in recent years that he's not been with the most competitive team. You don't, especially if you're newer to the sport, you don't realize that everything he has achieved, not just the length of his career, but all the great accolades. So yeah, I wish him all the best in his retirement and whatever else he wants to do in life. As you said, I'm sure there's he has still a lot more life to live outside of motorsport. So yeah, very cool.
Back in Zandvoort, how was it for you today?
It was cool, nice to be back in the car, get some laps in the car again, but tricky, not an easy track for sure. Tough, just to put a lap together, tough physically, so yeah, a good challenge. But I think a good first day, definitely some things to work on. I think we looked good in FP1, and then maybe on the soft tyre we didn't seem quite as strong. So yeah, things to work on for quali, but a good first day. And a cool track to drive. It is, it gives me good memories of 2017 when I was here. So, yeah, definitely one of the coolest tracks.
And how different has it been, or any kind of surprises from the sim runs you're doing to actually being in the car today?
I wouldn't say that many. I think from what we had on the simulator to what we have, or what it's actually like is relatively similar, which is a good thing. We've done a good job with the sim, and yeah, I guess it's always tricky because the simulator don't feel the G-force. So especially around the back, turn 7, turn 8, turn 9, constantly turning right. It's punishing on the front left tire. Physically, you start to feel it quite a bit, and it's extremely quick. So you kind of don't have that sensation in the simulator. So when you come here, you really get to feel it, and it's a bit of a shock the first few laps you do. But once you get into it, it's just a cool feeling, and yeah, pretty tough.
And what will you work on tonight, tomorrow, to get yourself in a good position for qualifying?
I mean, it was our first proper run we did on the soft tyre, so just kind of understanding it, knowing where we are with the setup. Nothing obvious, otherwise we'll be much quicker. But yeah, definitely a few areas just to work on and clean up. I don't think there's anything big time-wise that we're going to find. I think some of the others like Alpine look extremely quick, which is a bit of a surprise. But yeah, I think we have a few areas to work on, but nothing that's going to transform the whole car.
Nicholas, how was it out there for you today?
It was tricky. I mean, straight away from FP1, obviously track conditions not very good, very low grip out there. Made some improvements from one session to the next, which was good. But I guess the thing for me is I still feel we have some kind of lingering things we have to solve from Portimao that we still haven't quite got on top of. So yeah, I think still got some work to do. The high fuel race pace is, I think, more the bigger thing to look at, which was obviously the big thing in Portugal as well, which was not really competitive at all. So yeah, I guess not where we want to be, but we'll do some homework tonight and see if we can improve.
And what did you make of the turn modification as well?
I actually like it quite a lot. Yeah, I think it's makes, at least for our car especially, it's definitely better. But even to drive, it just seems to flow a little bit better. Not only the actual turn 10 itself, but the kind of way it flows then into the next corner, which is obviously not really changed, but as the approach is different, it kind of changes the feel of the corner, the next corner. So yeah, I think I like it. I mean, whether it'll make much of a difference for racing, I guess that's still TBC. I think just because that is not the corner that leads onto the straight, it's in the end not really going to make much of a difference, unfortunately. But just to drive, I think it's.
Race 9 in 11 weeks. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. Still feeling fresh, which is good. We still got a lot of races to go. But yeah, very excited for this weekend. Track looks amazing. I have some experience here from quite a few years ago in 2012 in Italian Formula 3. Looks a bit different than I remember, but should be really fun in these cars.
How useful do you reckon that experience will be?
To be honest, probably not really. I don't think I knew much what I was doing back then in 2012. Yeah, I was still learning a lot very early in my car racing career, and yeah, it just was so long ago. So, yeah.
Obviously, you had one of your strongest weekend in Formula 1 back in Monza. How much confidence does that give you here, and what expectations can you have coming in?
I mean, it definitely gives some confidence from the perspective that, I got to experience a lot of new experiences, unique experiences, starting in the top 10 in a full-on restart, having to, I'd say battle, but maybe delay the progress of other cars coming through and just being a bit more racy, more in amongst the action. So this obviously brings a ton of confidence, and the fact that I was able to maintain the position and have good pace once the kind of race settled down, that's definitely good coming into here. At the same time, I do know that I was in that position because of being on the right side of the pit lane being closed and safety car coming out. But I definitely feel I had to work much harder for this 11th place, and the fact that I was able to maintain it, it's definitely going to help.
How different has this weekend been so far without the Williams family?
Yeah, I mean, normally on a Thursday, on a prep day, there's not anyways, because you're kind of just doing your work, you're doing your preparation. But yeah, I think definitely as the weekend progresses, it will be weird not having them here. I'm sure it's going to be weird for Claire and her family, and watching at home, it'll be the first time. But yeah, we're going to keep pushing 100% to make them proud.
Great stuff. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Final Friday of the year.
It's quite a busy one. I think it was quite an important and useful day for us for gathering data. I mean, we put a large focus on kind of getting a bit of a jump start into next year. So let's say my program was not really so much to optimize the performance on this weekend, at least today. We'll try and dial it in a bit more tomorrow. But yeah, I think we learned a lot of useful things. Definitely when we did try to put a little bit of focus onto this weekend, it's clear that we're missing a bit of pace, probably a bit more than normal compared to our competitors, both on low and high fuel. So yeah, definitely a lot of work to do tonight.
So missing a bit of pace, is that across both long run and short lap?
Yeah, we feel so, unfortunately.
So then I guess you're expecting a challenging weekend ahead?
Yeah, I mean, we were expecting a bit of a challenge coming into this weekend anyways, just from the nature of this track. We know the kind of corners it has, the layout, and it's probably not ideal for our car's characteristics. But yeah, it's obviously, you always hope that's not the case once you drive, and you hope to see it yourself a bit more competitive relative to the competitors. So we can definitely make it better. We have an idea of the things we need